Hi everyone, welcome to another one of my YouTube videos. Today what I'm going to do is something I've put off for a while. I want to try and do some off-camera flash in location. I'm going to try and get some backlit birds at one of our local spots, Cannock Chase. I do really like this place. It's very peaceful, very serene when you get off the beaten track, and oh hey, if you just look over the back there, I don't know if you can see them on this, but there's some of the local fallow deer just having a bit of a rest. I might come back and get some shots of those later, but I'm just popping up to a spot where I know that there's quite a lot of birds, just to see if I can set up my off camera and get some nice backlit pictures. Looking at the weather, it's not the most fantastic of days. It is quite overcast, but for what I'm looking to achieve, that's actually quite a good thing. It means there won't be too much ambient light to compensate for, but we'll see how things go when I get to the location. Okay, so I've got my flash set up just behind the feeding area. I'm trying out, I've bought a new Godox AD200 because it's quite a powerful speed light. I'm not using it anywhere near full power, obviously, because I don't want to disturb the birds too much, but I've got it situated behind in about 45 degrees to where I'm hoping that they will land. I've done some test shots to get the ambient light right. I've upped my shutter speed to about 640, ISO 125, and that's made the background nice and dark, and there's just a little bit of highlighting coming in from camera right on hopefully where the birds will perch. Looks like we've got a bit of interest going on now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do a few shots now and see how they look. Okay, so I've got a couple that I think might work quite well. I'm going to change it up now. I'm going to do something a little bit different. One of the things I've always been interested in is bringing some sort of portrait styles to the wildlife photos. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up a little scene and try and use a portrait style lighting on it and see how that looks. Okay, so this is what I'm using, like a little portrait setup. It's sort of inspired by newborn photography. Picked up like a cheap Nest model from Hobbycraft, and what I've done now is I've just mounted it on the stick, and I've got the flash at a classic Rembrandt sort of angle to it. I've exposed so that the ambient light is very low, and again the subject is just lit a little bit by the flash. I've put it on at 1/32 power so it doesn't really disturb them, so just wait now and see what results I get from this one. Okay, I've got a few shots that I think might be workable. I mean, if nothing else, it's a worthwhile experiment just to see how the off-camera flash works in the wild environment. I'm just going to have a bit of a trawl around the chase now, see if there's anything that pops up that might be worth getting a picture of. I've just driven past one of the local spots where a lot of the birders tend to put some food out for the birds, and I see an awful lot of yellowhammers about, so I think I'm just going to take a walk back up there and see if I can get some shots of those. Okay, so I've set up here now. I'm lying down waiting to see if the yellowhammers show back on the location. It is super windy. I don't know if there's going to be much flying, and it is absolutely freezing, but I'm going to give it a try and see what we get. There's hopefully a nice bit of backlight over there, so I might be able to get a couple of them just lit by that if they come out. So it is damn windy. Let's see what we get though. I don't know if you can hear that, but the wind is absolutely howling up here. There's nothing flying at the minute, there's nothing even coming out of whatever little hidey holes they're in. I do think I've got a couple of nice little shots of the yellowhammer earlier, so I think I'm going to call it now and move somewhere else. Right, Right, back in the car now. I'm just having a quick look at what I got from that little session. Got a nice little Cannock one there, and scrolling through, there we go. That's the sort of shot I was looking for with the yellow hammer. Got the background and that nicely blurred, but hopefully the bird in focus. We'll see when we get it on the computer back home. I always like to shoot quite low to the ground and at a fairly low aperture, so that the subject's isolated from the background. But that's quite nice. I'm going to call that one a success. I might just have a quick look around, see if I can find anything else about, but it really is getting quite bad weather up here, so I don't think there'll be much about. But we'll have a quick look, see what we see.